Hello! Today I'll be showing tips and tricks for every TOA room. If you use Runelite, I highly recommend getting the Tombs of Amascut plugin from the plugin hub. The order I'll be showing these tips is Zabak, Kafri, Akka, and then Baba. For the Wardens room, I highly recommend getting the Tile Packs plugin from the plugin hub. In the Tile Packs plugin, look for the TOA Zabak puzzle and make sure it's toggled. Once you toggle it on, you will get all of these. So here's what it looks like with it off, and here is when it's on. With this tile plugin on, if you start at one of these tiles and have your run on, you should be able to run across and get water without taking any damage from the spikes. The only thing you'll have to avoid is the poison spots. So how it looks: you'll run in, grab your water container right away, and then go to one of the marked tiles. It doesn't matter which side you start on, and now when you see the poison, just go to the other one, and you'll always avoid the poison. Whichever path you pick, either this one or this one of the two spots will always be free of poison. So you can see poison is in one line, it'll never be both lines. So if I'm running along this line and poison spawns, I just need to go to the other line to avoid the poison. Additionally, if you click on the jug and then click on the water, you will fill up your jug a little bit quicker than if you just left click on the waterfall. In Zabak's room, it's best to start out with a BGS spec. Once you do 20 damage, you should switch to your range gear and start ranging him. His defense cannot be lowered more than 20, so after you hit the 20 damage, you're good. Make sure to always step back after you attack him, otherwise he can melee you and do a lot of damage. Zabak is very easy to prey flick. The damage doesn't register until the rock or the barrel actually hits your character. For these setups, if you can push a jug directly into a rock, it'll explode by itself and you don't have to shoot it again. As long as you hit a rock, you will always get a safe spot doing that. You're always safe 3 tiles behind a rock, so 1, 2, 3, I know I'm safe here or here. For the waves, sometimes you get a bad layout. So it might be hard to dodge that one, but if you have true tile on, you can step in front of the wave and then run back and you'll always dodge it. So once again, right here, I'm going to wait till these squares are next to me, walk 1 away, and then run back. And you will always skip the waves like that. So once again, here's the waves. You want to make sure that you have all the waves tagged. And then in the monster settings, you want to make sure to have their true tile enabled so you can see this row. Once it gets next to you, just walk 1, don't run, and then you can skip it. So I'll show it right here. I'm going to walk right next to it, and then I'll run backwards. And you skip the wave, so you don't have to position yourself if it's far away and there's lots of poison. While you're waiting for Zabak specials, if you stand on the tiles over here, acid pools won't come here. So if you're waiting for something, you can stand by those, and acid will never hit you. If you're navigating the acid and you need to get over something, remember, as long as run is on, you go over 1 tile, so you will skip that acid. Before you start the Kafri puzzle, you're going to go into the Tombs of Amascut plugin and look at the path of Scarabs. There's a couple things that are going to help you. First of all, you want the helpers on the overlay and the matching display on both. These are going to make it a lot easier for you. Additionally, if you're soloing, you want to show the obelisk skip because that's the slowest one. So having it set to solo only will show you the path to skip the obelisk for Scarabs. This is what I mean by that. You will see that this one is green. It means it'll skip the obelisk. So I know that the obelisk would be in this room even though I can't see it. This particular puzzle is a little bit weird. Normally when your character is on run and you go to this tile, you would skip over any poison or traps that are on this tile. So it just thinks that you're here and then you teleport here is how run works. For this puzzle specifically though, if I start here, I can either walk to get this tile or I can run and the tile I go over it'll get as well. So I can walk on both the highlighted tiles or I can run across and everything I ran across gets triggered as well. When you're in solos, you have to use the shortcut to go to the other side. and you don't have to do this puzzle or this puzzle. Here's an example of what I mean by skipping. I can't step on this tile, but if I run here, I'll never step on that tile. So I know I can do this fairly quick by going 1, and then I can run here because it's not going to trigger anything there. I can walk here, I can walk here, but instead of having to go around, I can step here and run to this because I know I'll run over and then walk to this. And then you skip to the other side, and we can start our final puzzle. Here's a good example of using run to skip over tiles. I can go 1, 2, and then immediately click on 3 because I know I won't step on this tile, and then 4, 5, so I can do this whole thing without missing a tick. The way I do this is a little bit different than most people. I'm just going to unveil 4 on this side. And it's going to be a mystery if we get this one, because we don't know anything on this side yet. But to speed this up, I only unveil 3 on this side. So I didn't get lucky, but I unveil 3, and you'll always know where this third one is. Even if I don't see star on this side, like I don't see it right now, because this one's unveiled, I know this one has to be a star. Now, because on the other side I have either the knives or the W, and I don't know what these two are, I'm going to check either the knives or the W so I can certainly match them up. So I'll just do knives. And then I have 2 uncovered ones, so I'm going to check one of those, and I know where the boot is. And now because this one's the only uncovered one, we know that it's going to be the diamond. So you can just finish up your puzzle in whichever way, and doing it this way saves a little bit of time. The biggest thing about Kafri is poop management. There's a couple ways you can do your poop. You can use it to your advantage to lock in the melee guy, or you can try to stack it all up on the diagonal lines so it stays out of the way. I prefer to trap the melee guy just so I take less damage, especially as you get higher invocation runs, you like to trap him so he doesn't hurt you so much. To do the trap, you'll attack him and you'll run over to the east side, kind of these tiles I have marked. You can be in this tile or this tile. Both are 1 click away from where you want to be, which is just 3 tiles back from Kafri at the edge. Our next poop placement is going to be right here, so it does another straight line. We do this because the medic will spawn right here, so having another poop line right here will trap him. If you want to ignore the little range guys that come at you, kill the dark poops. Those are the ones they spawn out of. You can always use your yellow Karas to hit these eggs to heal. It even overheals you. You see I just went from 99 to 111. The dark eggs are the ones you want to focus on though. For these medics that are healing him, I bring a quicker weapon. You can use the bofa or a blowpipe. If you have a crossbow though, it's pretty nice because it's just a little bit slower than the blowpipe, but it's got a much longer range. It might be helpful to bring a sandfew in this room, or you can pre-pot an antidote before the raid so you don't have to deal with poison attacks. After you kill him, just focus on the Scarab swarms. It's not a big deal if she gets to full shield, it'll just make the fight a little bit longer. If in the higher invos though, it's basically a guarantee that she's going to get a full shield. We want to be on the south side now. This way when her shield goes down, we can immediately start attacking the Arcane Scarab. The Arcane Scarab will always spawn in this southeast corner, and you need to make sure to take out the Arcane Scarab as fast as possible, because if you allow it to charge its mage attack, you'll get hit for big damage. If the poop is preventing you from getting to the Arcane Scarab, make sure you switch to your range gear to attack it. If you manage to lock yourself out like this, you'll want to range the Arcane Scarab to get him to move. For the melee guy that we set up in our trap, you'll want to mage him, and you can either kill him or just get his health down low. The lower you get his health, the less he can heal Kafri, so make sure he's not at full health. I tend to just kill him to not have to worry about him. While I'm killing him, I'm not going to focus on medics, because we can see Kafri's already at a full shield, so the medic's not going to do anything for Kafri. Kafri can't get over-shielded. If you happen to get stuck, you can pray mage to reduce the damage of the bomb, and then once a poop comes, you can get unstuck by crossing over a previous placed poop. when choosing your supplies, even if there's 2 salts in the Chaos one, you should always pick the 2 salts 1 adrenaline for the power one at first. Our next room is the Path of Het. This is the Akka puzzle room. Under your Tombs of Amascut plugin, I would recommend you have the Deposit Pickaxe set to both, and you also have the Beam Timer. Make sure you pick up your pickaxe, and that you have a bit of inventory room for some of the mirrors. The mirrors will always spawn in these locations. Right here, right here, right here. It's basically all the corners except the southeast corner will have a mirror that you can pick up to turn and move. An additional plugin that may help you with this room is under the Tile Pack plugin. There is a TOA Akka puzzle. So if you add it, it will give you some numbers. I personally don't use it, but if you like it, you can use it. While setting up this puzzle, you need to see which way the beam is going at the beginning. I see it's going to the left, and there's no way to make it go to the right, so I'm going to ignore this whole right side of the room. Additionally, if you're using the Tile Pack plugin, you can see the one it's stuck on is 4,6, so we're either using the 4s or the 6 numbers. But because we see we have to use 4 because that's the one to the left, I know that I can place one here, and the puzzle will be solved for me. I personally like to start off with one of them turned the wrong way, so that way I'm not getting shot by the beam as I'm setting up the rest of the room. Before I fix this mirror, we need to talk about how to one-down this statue without any mining boost. When the wall goes down, you never want to be right next to the statue. This won't work. You either need to be 1 tile away or 2 tiles away. If you're 2 tiles away, make sure your run is turned on. What you want to do is right when this timer turns green, you want to click on this, and while the walls are going down, your character will do a walk or run animation towards the crystal and immediately start mining it. This will make sure that you get the 1 down for the crystals. So, I usually like to turn it right when it turns green, that way it'll fail and I have time to run into position. And then right when it turns green, I click on it and I start mining at the soonest available time. Having the plugin under this both option makes it so I can't leave this room with my pickaxe. So if I accidentally forget to take my pickaxe, I can't leave. So if I'm holding my pickaxe, I can't leave. That's why it's so nice. Before I go into the Akka room, I always check what level he is. So he's a level 1 right now, so I know there's just, during his memory pattern, there's only going to be 4 memories. For Akka, I will be showing an easy way to butterfly, I will be showing how to do the ladder, and I will show how to DPS skip. All of these are much easier than they sound. Before you go in, I recommend having radius markers for Akka. In the comments, I'll post the radius markers I use. But the radius markers make it so when he's melee, he will be red, when he's mage, he will be blue, and when he's ranged, he'll be green, so it's very easy to switch your prayers if he switches. Additionally, under the tile packs, you will want the TOA Akka Butterfly. You could use the 4-tick one, but the regular butterfly is much easier, and once you get a shadow, this is the one you'll use as well. The goal for the butterfly is to attack on this tile and this tile. These tiles you're going to run to in between the attacks. You can do this either clockwise or counterclockwise, and that's why there's 2 tiles. Depending on the direction you go, you're going to run to the closer of the 2 tiles. You're not going to run to both of them. So you'll start the butterfly by attacking on either one of these tiles, and then depending the way Akka's coming, you're either going to run to this tile and then this tile, or if you're going counterclockwise, you'll run to this tile and then this tile. The easiest way to start the butterfly so you never get hit is wait till he's 1 tile away from you using the radius markers, and then start your butterfly. So if he's right next to you, he'll get a hit off, but if he's 1 tile away from you, you can start the butterfly without getting hit. If he does hit you, don't interrupt your butterfly, just keep doing the cycle, and he'll get himself into position. Melee, just in case I mess it up, and then I'm going to wait till he gets here. So now I can start the butterfly and he'll never hit me. If you want, you can turn off your prayer, but it's not a big deal to leave it on. While the shadows are here, I think it's good to have shift-click walk set up, just so I don't accidentally click on the shadow when I'm trying to butterfly. For the ladder skip, you will move to this yellow tile I have marked. Right when you hear the noise for the last memory, you will move up and to the right, up and to the right. You have to move one tile every tick. We're gonna have 5 memories here. And then we're back at this tile. He's a tile away, and we're back into our butterfly. While you're killing the shadows, you can see the yellow bar on the outside charging up. When it reaches max, he will do a blast that will damage you if you haven't killed the shadow in that section. At higher invocations, unless you have really good gear and get really lucky, this will always go off. To skip it, we'll stand on the corner of the shadow, as you saw just now, and then you will run to another corner of the shadow right when he lifts up his spear. You can see the bar's about to fill. So right when it fills, this guy will do an animation. You will start at this corner. If you have the butterfly thing, it says LOL. And then you can run to either corner of the shadow, and you will skip over. If you need a butterfly and you have the orbs, you can do it exactly the same. Just remember, if you need a stop, only stop on the attack tiles. Because you can see this movement tile gets an orb, so if you wait a tick, it'll hit you. But you can just butterfly as normal. For the end of the fight, you're going to pray Redemption and Piety. If it's a lower invocation level, you can pray Magic, but once it starts hitting 25s, it won't do less than that, even with pray Magic. It also won't do more. Additionally, summoning a melee thrall is good here. The melee thrall doesn't count as an attack, so it's free damage. There aren't a lot of tips for the monkey room, just keep on top of the DDs, the vents, and the pillars. Try to take out the Baboon shamans first, because they will summon a lot of the thralls and it gets a bit hectic. After a while, I just start camping melee, and then when one of these volatile guys comes, I walk the melee guys towards him. The cursed baboons will never walk on your square if you're just standing in one spot. They also will not step on the vents. So as they're going around, if you're focusing on guys that are attacking you, the cursed baboon won't be a problem. The biggest problem is when you try to attack him and he drags you behind the pillar. So if you see him going towards the pillar, just click off of him so you're not attacking him anymore. Remember, if you need to get around the poison guy, you can always step over his venom. So if I go here, I can go here, I can go here, and none of these will venom me because I'm stepping over them. If you need to heal but you don't want to use special attack energy, you can equip the yellow Karis and start killing the thralls. Each one you kill will use a few prayer points, but it'll heal you quite a bit without using special attack energy. For Baba, you can very easily do this room without using any prayer or any Sarah brews, especially if you're solo. Using the red X method. I have a whole video on various ways to set up the red X method, but here I'll show you the easiest way to start it and the easiest way to do it up there. Right when we enter the room, we're going to stand on this first tile. I have it marked in purple, but it's the first tile that the gap starts on. We're going to attack him once, step back, and then we're going to hold the control key so we can walk the whole time we're doing this. You're going to click on the crystal to walk in, and then you'll click on Baba to attack him. I'll pray melee at the beginning. I'll summon a thrall just to make this go quicker. Holding control, he's next to me, so I click him, walk out, 3 steps in, and then I just click him. Every time you hear it go boom, click on the crystal. So you have some time to move until you have to click on the crystal again. So I'm going to move him out of the way, just so I don't have to worry about mind the gap. You'll want to equip range gear that allows you to one-hit the damage boulders. You want to start running up the hill, and wait for a boulder to spawn a damaged one that's close to you, like this. And then right when you kill it, run up next to him. You've got plenty of time. The easiest way to do this is just drop something on the ground right here. Whoops. And then you can pray melee if you want, but he won't hit you. Right when he faces you, you're gonna do 3 steps in, and he's in the cycle. For this one, you definitely want to move him back one, so when the boulders fall, you can step to the side. So now that the boulder's falling, I'm going to step to the side. Make sure you never stand on the middle tile. As you can see, the black smoke is hitting the middle tile, so you will take damage if you stand there. If you're going with a group and too many people are at one of the rocks, you can always stand next to a sarcophagus when he throws the rock to share the damage. This way, you don't die from somebody messing up. Before you start the Wardens, make sure your inventory is set up like you like it. I tend to take 1 of each thing and then 2 ambrosias just in case I mess up and drink all of one. Change your left click on the supplies to be resupply. This way, when you drink a dose of something, you can click resupply and it fills up right away, so you don't have to worry about the order of the rest of this. Something important to note with the nectars is your stats regenerate every 15 seconds. This means if you use the nectar right at one of the 15s, so like when this is 45 seconds, it would regenerate right away. We will always start by fighting the Elidness Wardens. This way, in Wardens P3 and P4, we don't have to worry about Kafri attacks. I tend to BGS him twice while a Thrall is summoned, and then I'll absorb a few orbs, and I like to use the Bofa and run all the way back here. If you're back here, none of the disco lights can hurt you. I personally take enough orbs to get me right around 99 health, because then 1 nectar will bring me back to overhealed. So 1 more orb. Once again, standing on this back row, the Bofa can still reach him, but his disco lights can't reach you. I see my potions are close to 45 seconds, so if I nectar right at the 45, my stats stay boosted, but I get the health still. I recommend having these 2 tiles marked, this one and this one. This makes it easy to avoid most of his attacks. So the windmill is the big one. Having these 2 marked, because it can go here and I can go there now, or I can wait a little bit and go there now. It's got 2 rotations between these 2 that I can move for the windmill. After you dodge 2 windmills like that, you can stay on this tile. It won't make it around for the 3rd time. As he's getting closer to being 100%, I want to make sure I'm adrenaline. That way I can use 5 DDS specs and 1 God Sword hit. You can use the melee thrall through all the phases. It can hit him no matter what he's spraying. Once again, these 2 things will allow you to skip this. So right when it gets on that tile, you'll click on that tile. You don't want to kill it on the 2nd time, you want to make sure to kill him on the 3rd time. That will get you the most points. For the falling things, you can be 1 or 2 tiles away from it, as long as it's in the plus formation and avoid the damage. It's ideal to start P3 out with BGS specs. Every 20%, Wardens will summon the skulls. You can either kill the skulls or skip them. I prefer to skip them because it gives more points, and if I miss a skull, I won't die no matter what. To always skull skip, you will stand on one of the marked tiles, which are 5 tiles from the edge, and with any ranged weapon, you will spam click on any skull. Right when the skull disappears, you'll click to walk and do the skull skip. I don't remember where it was, so I like to stand in the back if I forget. You'll have time to react, so I'm good. For this one, I focus on my prayer. I wait to hear 1 boulder fall, and then I dodge it and start spam clicking. For this one, you'll dodge 2 Baba boulders, and then spam click. If you get hit, it's not a big deal. Just resume your cycle, heal up, take your time. It's not a DPS check until the very end once you get the Wardens to 5%. So take your time making sure you're at full health for this. Right before it goes into its final phase, I'm going to make sure I resummon my Thrall. And I'm going to take right away the sip of my Scarab. Stay zoomed out enough to see what you need to pray. It's a good idea to move onto a tile right as it's exploding, because that's going to be safest for the longest. In order of importance, you want to make sure to move so you don't get hit by a boulder, and then you want to make sure you're on a tile that's not about to be lightning, and then you want to fix your prayer. I'm not going to do a tier list saying which invocations are better than others, but here's a few invocations that add raid levels while making the raid easier, or at least the same difficulty, so I think they should always be on. One of the death invocations should always be on. You should never be dying more than 10 times in a raid, unless you're a solo learner still, but even after 1 or 2 raids, at the very minimum this should be on. Additionally, On a Diet should also be on, as long as you have access to Ceradome and Bruise. You may think that the silk dressings are nice, but getting silk dressings actually has a chance to take the spot of one of your ambrosia potions at the end, and ambrosias are too overpowered to get rid of. Blowing Mud for Kafri. If you're solo, nothing changes with this one and it's a free 10 points. If you're in a group, it's gonna make trapping a lot easier. For Akka, Stay Vigilant will make it so while you're butterflying him, he won't switch styles as often. Feeling Special is also nice because it just speeds up the raid once you're comfortable doing it. For Baba, Shaking Things Up, it's gonna make his slam bigger, but you actually have more time to avoid it, which makes this easier than normal. Additionally, these 3 invocations, Mind the Gap, Gotta Have Faith, and Jungle Japes, once you're comfortable red Xing Baba, are all free. For the Wardens, Overclocked and Overclocked 2 actually make P3 and P4 a little bit easier. Normally, he's going too slow and you have to focus on dodging the falling boulders, but with these on, you'll be moving side to side fast enough where you don't have to think about dodging the boulders. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If it helped you at all, please give it a like and subscribe. If you need additional help on Baba, I have a video on how to red X him from anywhere in the room without counting ticks. Thank you for watching and have a good day.
Bye.